Oh yeah, it's your boy. It's Jason, and welcome to another Jam Sessions. So excited to be back with you all. It's Friday, and you know what I always say? Sit back, relax, and we're gonna have another conversation. Welcome. What's going on, everyone? First off, let me just say this. I missed you all last week. I was actually out in LA and I recorded a podcast with my boy Rob and got back to Denver and the memory card was messed up. So if you're wondering if you missed the episode from last week, you did not. That's just what happened. And so, but we're back today. And we're doing this one today, and I'm actually in Chicago now. I flew out to Chicago this afternoon. And so greetings from the Windy City of Chicago. And so first off, I just want to say how much I thank and appreciate everyone that has been tuning in. I've been getting a lot of feedback, great feedback from just people like just thanking me, you know, for doing this and how much they have been enjoying it. And I just really like I said, I just really wanted to do it just to offer a space where I can be helpful to others or just have conversations about things that I think people want to talk about or, you know, have been talking about, and just kind of bringing it to light. You know, I know a lot of conversations that I've been having. I'm just like, let me bring these to the light because other people need to hear these things. I'm no expert. I'm just, you know, just trying to be a willing vessel. And I just want to say thanks again. I looked at the stats and I'm just blown away by, there have been people that have listened in Japan, in Tel Aviv, Israel, and just Canada and all over the United States. And I'm just in awe to see people from all over the world listening to my podcast, and it means a lot. And it means a lot if you're telling your family and your friends all over this world about it, like to just tune in. I'm not boxing myself in to talk about a specific thing. It's not a relationship podcast or, you know, something like that. It's just a life podcast where we'll talk about everything. Just nothing's off limits. Kind of going to talk about just whatever I feel like on my heart to share with you all. And I'm going to re-record that one with Rob. It was great. We were kind of talking music and it was a great conversation. So we're going to redo that. My sister wants to get on with me and talk about mental health in the church. And I think that's a definitely awesome. Mental health, period. It's an awesome thing. And my sister just finished her master's and we're really excited for everything that she's doing. And so yeah, so I'm going to end up definitely doing one with her and just a lot of my friends, like I told you before. So let's get into today. Today, I kind of want to talk about, you know, success and the cost. And, you know, this was actually a conversation that I was having in LA with my boy Rob. We were out eating and he was telling me the story about Kevin Hart and how his kids felt originally about him being Kevin Hart and his success and how they would miss him. You know, he would be out so much on tour or working on movies and things like that. And it really made me think when we were talking about that. And I was sharing with Rob, I was like, there's a price to pay. There's a cost for being successful at anything. And the reason why I feel like everyone in the world isn't successful is because everyone's not willing to pay the cost. And then I just really got to thinking, it's not only the cost of the person that's trying to be successful, like what it costs you to be successful, but it's also what it costs your friends and your family and those attached to you and those that have access to you. Everyone pays a cost, right? Like some people are not going to be able to have access to you while you're ascending. And it made me think about flying. You know, I've flown a lot, and any of you that have flown at least once, you get in your seat, you put your seatbelt on, they pull back from the gate, and then they taxi on the runway, and then they take off. And while they're taking off, while they're in takeoff, while they're ascending, while you're ascending, before you get to that cruise level, that cruise altitude level, you don't get to see the flight attendants. You don't get to see anyone. Everyone is in their seats strapped in. And I feel like that's kind of how we can compare it to success, right? As you're ascending, everyone is strapped in. You have not hit cruise level. You have not arrived to the level or to the status that you want. And while you're ascending, everyone can't have access to you. You're in your seat. You're in your seatbelt. And although people might want, and I think that's the cost that we have to add, like our family doesn't have as much access to us as maybe they would like. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just what it is as you're trying to climb to that cruising altitude. And then once you get to that level, the fasten seatbelt comes off. And then the flight attendants come through the aisles asking you what snacks you want and what drinks you want and different things like that. And I kind of feel like that's how success is until we get to that cruise altitude where we're kind of cruising. And now you look at someone like Kevin Hart, who now has all these other business ventures from clothing to restaurants and a lot more things from behind the camera, which now allows him to have more time with his family because he doesn't have to grind as hard. He can kind of sit and enjoy the fruits of his labor. And I think that we, sometimes we don't consider that as well when we're talking about success. We don't consider that there's a cost that I have to pay at being successful. And then there's a cost that people attached to me as well have to pay. And I never forget, I was at a conference and Bishop Jakes said this. He said, it costs what it costs, and it does. It costs what it costs. There's no way around it. I'm sure there were days that Michael Jordan would have loved to have been just this regular dude out hanging out with his friends, going to the movies, going bowling or skating or whatever. But he was in the gym honing his craft and he's the GOAT. But it cost him. It cost him to be the GOAT. It cost him discipline. It cost him time. It cost him blood, sweat, and tears. It cost him consistency. He had to be consistent. Even you look at Steph Curry. The reason why Steph Curry is probably the greatest shooter of our times in the NBA is because when everybody was out hanging out, he was in the gym shooting shots over and over again till it's just like second nature. Like if you watch him play the game, it's like he's fearless. It doesn't matter. He's like, yo, you want to stand in front of me? You want to give me 3 feet? I'll take the shot. I will take it from half court. It doesn't matter. He shoots fearlessly, but that's because he put the time in. He put the repetition in. He put the discipline in. And I think that as it relates to being successful, I don't think that's hard in and of itself in terms of, I think everybody has access to being successful. I don't think it's an issue of there are people that can't be successful. Like they don't have the access to being successful. No, I think everybody has access. It's possible. You have the possibility. You can be successful if you choose to. What makes it hard is that everyone doesn't have the discipline. Everybody doesn't have the mental capacity to do it, right? It's like, could everybody physically be fit and six pack and all of that stuff? Technically, yeah. But everybody doesn't have the discipline to have a proper diet or to go to the gym every day and to consistently go to the gym, to consistently drink a gallon of water, to do all of the things that it takes to have cardio, not to have a great sleeping pattern. Sleep matters. Even when you're talking about muscle growth, you need to have that recovery time. You need to have that sleep. That all of that helps to do that. And a lot of times we say we want to be successful, but we don't want to pay the price. And a lot of times we only want to be successful because of what we see. But success is not made in what we see. Success is built in what we don't see. And a few weeks ago, I was at the Transformation V2 conference and Pastor Mike Todd preached a message on obscurity. And it was just such a great message. And he was sharing that. He was like, you look at me on this stage now, but what you see was not built on this stage. It was built in the dark. And and I liken to it, love, like a tree or a plant. You plant a seed and you water it and it starts to grow. We don't consider that it starts to grow until we see it growing. But here's the thing. it's already growing even when we don't see, because it starts underground. It starts in the dirt. It starts in the dark. A tree starts to plant roots first, and a lot of times that's what's needed, and we're wondering why we haven't had this level of success or these certain opportunities that we've been praying and asking for and believing God for, and it's because we just want it so fast. And God is like, no, I have to build it in the dark. I have to build it in obscurity. I have to get roots so that when things come, when trials and obstacles come, you won't be blown over. You won't be just shaken. You will have roots. And a lot of times that root, what's done in the dark, is character building. You look at, we've all done it. We've looked at people and like, man, how could they mess up? They had millions. How could they mess up? A lot of times it's their characters weren't developed. Their characters weren't developed, and they thought they could be the same person that they was before, not realizing that this new level causes for, it's not just about ascending or going to a higher level financially or of some type of status, but there's an inward work that has to be done, that has to match. That's why I believe, like the Bible, when the Bible says that above all, God wants us to prosper and be in good health, even as our souls prosper. And a lot of times we think that we could get that one without the other, and it's not possible. I mean, you could, but it won't last. It won't last. You don't have the foundation, the characteristics. You don't have the foundation for it to last. I think that if you look at the characteristics of people that are very successful, I guarantee you could find at least 3 things that all of them possess. That they all possess these 3 things, whether it looks differently or how they did it. They all possess these 3 things. They all possess a level of discipline. They all possess a level of consistency. They all possess, just different things, a tenacity, a hunger and a want. But if you don't allow the rooting process, if you don't allow what's done in the dark, and I think a lot of times if we don't share those things, when we reach certain levels of success, then people think that it's just this easy thing that they can get. And then when they get their hands in it and try it, they're like, man, you just made it look so easy. And how? Well, no, it wasn't that it was easy. It was just some things that were done in the dark that you were not privy to. So all you saw was the success. All you saw was the stage, the lights, the glitter. All you saw was the business deals. That's all you saw. But you didn't see Steve Jobs when he was starting Apple in a garage. And all you see now is all the iPhones and all the iPads and all the MacBook Pros and all the money that they have in the bank, and they're everywhere. Apple is everywhere, but you didn't see when he was in a garage, and there was probably times where he doubted himself. Like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I can do this, but it was the consistency of a thing, right? Even with me doing this podcast, I might not have hundreds and thousands of subscribers yet, but if I can stay disciplined and I can stay consistent and I keep doing this over time, every week, every Friday, dropping a podcast, then that's how you build. That is how you build. It's through my discipline and my consistency in doing this thing. And again, a lot of people don't want that because they're so microwave. I want what I want right now. But as Bishop Jake says, it costs what it costs. It doesn't matter how bad, how quick you want it. It's still going to cost what it costs. And if you're not willing to pay the price for what you're asking for, then you're probably not going to get it because it costs what it costs. You cannot have success minus discipline. You cannot have success minus good character. You cannot have success minus consistency. And that's success in anything. If you want success in business, consistency. If you want success in relationships, consistency. If you want success in your health, consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to go to the gym. If not every day, every week, 3 or 4 times a week, you have to. You can't say I went once a month and I should be losing 10 pounds a month. It's not possible. There's discipline. There's discipline to it, and not only that, it's when you do it, it's then other people looking at you. They're looking at that. Sometimes I feel like we definitely need to share our journey and our struggles. And yeah, I know that I'm here now. But when I first started, man, it was hard. It was hard to sit every Friday or every week to make sure I put a podcast out. But now I have so many out and I have such a level of success that I can syndicate myself. I can replay stuff when I'm on vacation and people are still going to listen to it and people are still going to enjoy it, or, whatever that is for you. That's why I think in one of my earlier podcasts, I was saying, when will we get back to doing things for the love of it? Not just because it makes us money. Because I think when we can get back to understanding what our purpose and passion is, then it makes it a little easier to be disciplined. It makes it a little easier to be consistent. I'm not saying that it makes it easy. It makes it that much easier because at least I know I'm doing this for a reason. At least I know I'm doing this for a purpose. It's not just about me. It's not just about impacting me. Even something as simple as this podcast, this is not just about me. It's about the people that are looking at me, the people that are watching me, the people that can see like, man, if Jason can do it, if Jason can stay consistent, if he can keep putting these out, why can't I? I'm no better than anyone else. It's just about, do you have what it takes to stay consistent, to stay disciplined, to stay the course? And that's in every area of your life. You want to be a CEO. Learn how to be consistent on the job you have now. And then you could raise up or just go as high as you can go to get all the information that you need so that when you start your own business, you're there. You've already created habits of discipline, habits of consistency, these things that then you can instill in your employees or in your family members or in your friends or in those that you have influence over. And so when you talk about being successful, it's going to cost. It's going to cost what it costs. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost your family. It's going to cost your friends. But if you can stay the course, listen, the benefits will far outweigh the cost. They will far outweigh the cost. You can say, I did it. I was successful. I finished that degree. I went back to school as an adult. And I buckled down and I finished that degree. And I think even in that, we need to learn to enjoy the journey. I think so many times we focus on the destination and we make that the goal. And the thing is, if we're not careful, we'll prioritize the destination so much that we'll overlook the journey, and the journey to get there will be terrible. And then when you get there, you're like, man, it's like I always tell people going to Disneyland. You could take a trip, put your family in a car to go to Disneyland or Disney World, and the trip could be terrible. But it's Disneyland. Everybody loves Disneyland, right? Everybody loves Disney World. We want to go see Mickey. We want to do all the things. We want to ride all the rides. This is the happiest place on earth. But because your trip there sucked, you get there, you're not talking to your husband, you're not talking to your wife, you're ready to strangle your kids. And then you get there and all you could think about is, I can't wait to get back home because I'm totally over this trip. And that's because you did not prioritize the journey. And I get it. It's going to be hard work to get to the level where you want to get. It's going to be hard work to get that master's degree, to get that PhD, to get to the level to tour, to record records. All of it takes work. All of it takes discipline. But if you can put yourself in a position to enjoy the journey, I know this is hard. I know this is a lot, but I'm having fun doing it. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Yes, there are hard days. There are days that I might be ready to just be done with it all. But overall, I'm enjoying the journey. I'm making sure that I'm very conscious of what it takes to get to where I'm going, and that I enjoy it, that I learn to take moments to just stop and look how far I've come. I remember when I first started this, I was doing this, and now look at me now. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we need to pause and take a step back. No, I have not arrived to where I'm trying to get to, but I'm also not where I was when I started. And sometimes we just have to take a moment and applaud the fact that I'm not where I started. I'm further along than where I started. But I still have ways to go. So I'm not comfortable. I'm not settling for where I'm at. I'm not getting comfortable at where I'm at. But what I am saying is I'm acknowledging the journey. And I'm acknowledging that as I go, there are memories that are being built. There are moments of laughter. There might be moments of tears that, you know, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downfalls that I've learned how to abase and to abound. You know, it's like I learned how to be up and I've learned how to be down, you know, and that a lot of that again comes with having an attitude of gratitude, being grateful for where you're at, you know, no matter what, you know, if you're still breathing and you're still living, you have another day to get further along to where you're going. These like keep pressing, not as though I've already attained, but I keep pressing towards the mark. I know I haven't got there yet. So I'll stay hungry. I'll stay thirsty. I'll stay ready. I'll stay grinding. You know, I'll stay praying. I'll stay believing. I'll stay trusting, and I'll just keep going. I'll keep going. And I'll keep pressing forward. I'll keep moving forward one step at a time. You know, I think Mike Todd said when it's not perfection, but it's progression. You know, the goal is to progress. It's not to be perfect, but it's progression. As long as I'm progressing, you know, even slow progress is progress nonetheless. And so it's, again, honoring the journey, enjoying the journey, being disciplined, having consistency, and doing what it takes. It costs what it costs. And you will have people that'll help. That'll say, like, let me come along and take some of this cost. Like, let me take some of this for you. Like, let me help you in some of those things. But you have to give them something. You have to give them something to help. You know, if you're not doing your part, the Bible says that one man plants and one man waters, but it's God who provides the increase. What's happening a lot of times is we want God to increase nothing that we have planted or watered. And we're just asking for increase. And he's like, well, the increase of nothing is nothing, you know. So what are you planning? That's my challenge for you today. You know, I'm always challenging. My challenge is, what are you planting and what are you watering? What are you planting and what are you watering? And are you being disciplined? Are you going out every morning and planting that seed? Are you going out every morning and watering that seed? Are you having enough faith to believe that what I'm asking for, what I desire, what that goal is that I see that I want to obtain, that level of success that I want, or whatever it might be, that degree, that job, that level of income, you know, that business that I want to start. Are you being disciplined and are you being consistent? Are you doing the things necessary? Are you willing to pay the cost to have what you really want? Are you willing to pay the cost and do the things necessary to get to where you're going? And I'm telling you, if you can do those things, man, you'll be surprised what'll happen. You know, not even in a long amount of time. If I want to learn piano, I could literally sit and be disciplined and take 30 minutes out every day for 3 months. And where I am today and where I will be in 3 months will be huge. I tell people that about weight loss and working out. I'm like, it's not all of these major things you have to do. It's not you have to, you know, you don't even need a gym membership. Do simple things. Change your diet. Cut out sugars. Cut out a bunch of carbs. Up your fruits and veggies. Drink a gallon of water a day. Go walk 45 minutes a day, whether it's around your neighborhood, on a treadmill. Go do 30 to 45 minutes of cardio every day, you know, maybe Monday through Friday. And I'm telling you, something as simple as that, watch. And when you start to see the results, then it'll even encourage you more. When you see like, ooh, my face is slimming out, or my clothes are fitting looser, it encourages you. Now you want to do more. Now I'm not just going to walk. Now I'm going to add jump rope, or now I'm going to add sit-ups and push-ups, because I don't want to just lose it. I want to tone it and I want to tighten it. And as you start to see that progress, it then begins to encourage you more to do more, Then you're going to water it more. You're going to plan it more. You're going to believe more. You're going to trust more. And that's going to increase your discipline, because now you're starting to see the fruits of your labor. So again, just know it costs what it costs. And are you willing to pay the cost? And if you're willing to pay the cost, then go for it. Go for it and watch what will happen. Watch how God will increase that you're already doing. And so, you know, this is Jason. This is another jam session. And I just wanted to encourage you. It costs what it costs. And if you want to be successful at anything, it's going to cost. And I'm telling you, the cost is worth it. Anyway, I'm signing out. Hope you all have a great weekend and a great night. Love you all. Peace and blessings.